Hi, everyone, and welcome to Brian's Horror Corner, and welcome to this classic horror TV series season review. Um, for the month of March, we're taking a look at the classic Tales from the Dark Side from the 80s, mid 80s, it aired. Um, and I got through season one, so we're going to go ahead and review season one. And I'm going to give you my top five episodes from the season as well as my bottom three, including an honorable and a dishonorable mention. As you can see, I have all four seasons here on this DVD collection. So, season two review will be coming up in about a week as I have to watch all those episodes. But this is all about season one. So, I think the first thing I'm going to do is caveat I did include the pilot episode with season one. So season one has 23 episodes. I'm making it 24 because the pilot aired a full year before the first season did. So I'm lumping it in with the first season. But I think I'm going to give my top five and bottom three first, and then I'll go back and tell you my overall thoughts of season one and what I liked about it and what I didn't. So we're going to start with the bottom three episodes, starting with my dishonorable mention. My dishonorable mention is I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but is it Jin No Chaser? The Jin No Chaser? It's episode 10 that aired on January 13th, 1985. This is the one where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar guest stars as a genie in a bottle, basically, and it's meant to be a very humorous episode, a pretty out there episode, and I was pretty bored by it, to be honest with you. I didn't really find much in the humor. It was nice to see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in it, but even he kind of came across as boring to me in this episode, and I've seen him in other things. So yeah, it's a dishonorable mention. So I did find three episodes worse than this one, in my opinion, but I can't say I like it that much either. I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 as far as the rating goes. So yeah, the Jin No Chaser. That's my dishonorable mention. Then we get into my bottom three, I should say, and coming in at number three, is going to be an episode from earlier in the season, and that's entitled Mookie and Pookie, which that title alone should get it on this list as far as a bottom episode. But this is the one I gave this a two out of five. Basically, this is the episode about the twins, a boy and a girl, and basically the boy's sick and dies, and he ends up becoming the spirit of a computer. It's a very outdated episode, which that doesn't bother me so much because they can't help it. They made this in the 80s and talking about computer processors and things like that, pretty archaic computers. But, you have Justine Bateman in it, you have Tippi Hedren's in it, so you figure it'd be a pretty good episode. But again, it's kind of a lighthearted episode, which maybe it's my fault. I want a little darker episode than that. And I don't know, it just really didn't do anything for me once again. So Mookie and Pookie, number three. Coming in at my number two and number one are actually the last episodes of season one, if you can believe it. Grandma's Last Wish is my second worst of the season. I gave that a 2 out of 5. Man, the characters in this episode, it was a slog to get through because they were just yelling and they were not likable. They were very annoying, and I know that was part of the point of the episode. This is the one where basically a senile grandma makes a birthday wish that the rest of her family was pretty unsympathetic and uncaring towards her, that they kind of experience what she goes through. And I did like the end of this episode. That's what saved it a little bit for me because I was going to give it a 1.5 out of 5, like I did this last episode, the number one that we'll get to. But I did kind of like the episode. It sort of had a Twilight Zone, The Masks feel from season five of that show. But yeah, I just couldn't get behind the characters, and I really wasn't that interested in the story either. Maybe if you're an older person, that would have had more resonance. But Grandma's Last Wish, 2 out of 5. This aired on June 16th, 1985. And then my bottom of the barrel, my worst episode for the season was the last episode of the season, entitled The False Prophet. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5, and I thought I was being generous at that. This is the one with Ronnie Blakely from Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, who plays a ditzy, superstitious woman, and the ditzy part was not a stretch for her. Um, she's not even the worst part of this episode. It's just the whole concept of it about these these psychic machines basically, and she takes advice from him, even though she ends up meeting a guy at a bus station, and he's asking her why you believe in a machine over what we could have together. And that's really all I got out of it because I checked out of this episode as soon as Ronnie Blakely started talking. I don't know what it is about her, but I know she was supposed to be ditzy in this episode, but I think it goes beyond that. I don't like just the way she talks, her whole demeanor. She's, I just don't like her. Okay, she was the worst part of Nightmare on Elm Street for me, and a pretty great movie. And I didn't like her character. I didn't like the whole storyline though. This episode was a very weak way to go out of season one. That aired on August 4th, 1985. 1.5 out of 5 for the false prophet. So those are my worst episodes. Now on to bigger and better things here for season one. Um, First, my honorable mention is going to go to only the second episode of the season that aired on October 7th, 1984. I'll give you a million. This is a story about two older gentlemen who are both well to do, and basically the acquaintance gives offers to give a million to buy the soul of the other. And we've seen these kind of stories before, but I thought this episode played out really well. I thought the effects were good. I thought the acting was very good. Um, One gentleman ends up dying, the other goes for his soul, but gets kind of a surprise twist at the end as he wasn't the only one. Yeah, I don't know. This episode just really worked for me. It was eerie, it had good atmosphere. It felt like a really good Tales from the Dark Side episode. And so, yeah, I'll give you a million. That's going to be my honorable mention. Just didn't quite make the top five. But what did make the top five is the very first episode, the pilot episode that I'm including in season one, and that's Trick or Treat. Um, Pretty simple story about this one's about a gentleman that kind of he has IOUs that people owe money to him, and he's not a very nice guy. And to rub it in even more, he has their kids come in on Halloween to his house, and if they can find the IOUs, then that's all debts forgiven basically. And of course, they're never going to find it because he's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve where he's got all these ghouls and goblins and monsters all set up to scare these kids out. And this guy just really gets what's coming to him in the end, and it's got a great twist. I don't want to give it away, but great practical effects, great makeup effects, especially at the end of this episode. And he really gets his come up, and so I really enjoyed this. It was a great opening to what Tales from the Dark Side was going to be. So, Trick or Treat number five. Um, my number four episodes was towards the end of the season. Episode that aired on June 9th, 1985, and that's Bigelow's Last Smoke. It's entitled, this is the one about a chain smoker, Frank Bigelow, who wakes up in his apartment. But everything's not quite as it seems. And this is a very eerie episode, and it has um, there's a doctor that comes on a screen, his television screen, and I don't want to give too much away about it, but the doctor's really eerie and really creepy, and in some ways they're trying to do this guy a favor, but it's just then the end's got a kind of another twist too, where he wakes up again. I don't like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but Bungalow's Last Smoke is definitely an episode worth checking out from season one of Tales from the Dark Side. Um, so getting into the top three now. I have Anniversary Dinner at number three, which aired on February 3rd, 1985. This is about an elderly couple who talks a lot about their kids and how they miss their kids, and they end up taking in this drifter who's trying to escape her boyfriend, and she happens to be there for their 25th wedding anniversary. And not everything's as it seems here either. And this had really good acting, and especially by the elderly couple. Um, just a really good twist at the end, really creepy. You could kind of see it coming. You knew something creepy was coming, but they executed it really well, and I really enjoyed Anniversary Dinner, my number three for season one. Number two was, just want to find the date here if I can. And it doesn't look like I can. Where did it go? Oh, In the Cards. That's my number two episode from January 27th, 1985. This is the episode about the tarot reader who attracts business only by giving good predictions. And but then one day she ends up getting a new set of tarot cards that are slipped to her basically, and all of a sudden her predictions aren't so good. They have terrible predictions that end up coming true for her people. And this one's got a really great twist at the end too that really left the viewer quite. It was just a very satisfying episode. What happens at the end, and I don't want to give too much away with these episodes, but yeah, in the cards, Dorothy Lyman, who's the main character in this episode, I know her best from Mama's Family that aired in the 80s. She does a really good job in this episode as well. So that's my number two. But number one, there's no way it could be anything other than what it's going to end up being. And that's an episode that aired on November 21st, 1984, entitled "Inside the Closet." This is a great episode for several reasons. One, the practical effects and the spooks in this episode are really effective, really creepy. The atmosphere is really good. And then on top of that, it's got Fritz Weaver in it, who I knew from the Twilight Zone about 25 years earlier. He was in a few Twilight Zone episodes, and he's in rare form here. He's really good in this episode. The graduate student, the young lady in this episode, is really good and pretty easy to look at throughout the episode. And then the twist of the episode, or sort of the story of the episode, what she's experiencing is just, like I said, really creepy, really effective. This is the best episode of season one, Inside the Closet. Really enjoyed it, no doubt about it. A couple other episodes that I want to give a shout out to that just didn't quite make it. An episode entitled Slippage, I thought was very good. I gave it a 4 out of 5, as well as Snip Snip. I gave that a 4 out of 5 with Bud Cort and Carol Kane. Very effective sort of black magic episode. So yeah, over those are my bottom three, my top five, including dishonorable honorable mention. Overall, I thought the episode or the episode, the season one was pretty good. Um, there were a few more lighter episodes or humorous episodes than I thought there was going to be in the first season. I don't know if that's going to continue through the rest of the series. We'll see, but yeah, definitely some really good gems in season one of Tales from the Dark Side. But definitely some episodes I probably won't revisit again, namely my bottom three and my dishonorable mention. Um, I really like the opening theme to Tales from the Dark Side. And actually, I did remember that from when I was a kid late at night. It kind of creeped the hell out of me, to be honest with you. You know, especially at the end when the narrator does a great job, kind of giving his little spiel. And then his last sentence is a dark side. Just very effective. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, yeah, I don't know I'm not sure what else to say overall. I thought there were some cool guest appearances in season one. It was pretty good acting for the most part, and really good episodes. So it's hard to compare it yet because I haven't seen the other three seasons. So we'll see at the end how this all shakes out in the wash. But yeah, I really enjoyed season one. So go ahead and comment down below, guys, and give me any episodes from season one that you really enjoyed. If there were any that I missed that you liked more than me, if there's any that I liked that you didn't, I'd be interested to find out. Just for season one, don't give anything away for the seasons 2, 3, or 4 because I have yet to watch them yet. But that's my video talking about season one for Tales from the Dark Side. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video and hit the little notification bell below so you don't miss any of my upcoming season review videos for this series, as well as my other content. So therefore, you better make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of that great content I have coming up over most of the year, frankly. I've already got planned out. So thank you for watching this video, though, and stay scared. Bye.